to see. Ugh, this is gross. Crusty looking. That's nasty. But hey guys, welcome back to Viking Valley Farm. This is Carter. It is August 8th, and I'm out here checking some of our alfalfa that we have down on the ground to see if we can get the green light to go start merging. This was cut last night. It's about 11:30 right now. We've had some cooler temps and some wind come in the last week, cold front from the north, and I was able to spray yesterday. My family got started chopping yesterday. Got 15 loads, matching load, same amount of loads per acre as second crop so far. So definitely had better conditions for letting the alfalfa grow taller for third crop than second, just because June was cool and wet. July for the most part, there was still moisture, but there was a lot of sun and some heat, so that allowed the alfalfa to grow. But I think this stuff we might have to, still pretty wet yet. But doesn't this stuff look good? But I'm going to, we've got some that's ready. I guess the merger has started, I guess. Which is good. This field needs to be merged. This is a long ways away, and it kind of wraps around. I mean, I've had the drone up here before, and you've seen this field. You'll be familiar with it, but it's a longer haul away, and for this field we definitely need two people hauling loads. But there's a little bit that's ready to chop yet, closer to home, so I can get by being the lone guy hauling. Now I'm standing in our cornfield that's above here. I'm going to show you why I got the drone to do custom business. So you guys see this on the leaves here. I believe this is common rust. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen any tar spot yet, but if we get closer to the ground here, we see a little bit of stripping on the leaves. I'm wondering if some of the bottom leaves aren't already infected with something and they've already dried up, and yeah, it's weaker here where these lesions are. But I figured this would be a good way for me to make money. And this field has been sprayed, and fungicide application isn't going to be perfect. It's not going to necessarily get rid of the problem. It's just going to mitigate it and help the plant go through stress a little bit better. But our corn, we like longer maturity corn compared to a lot of other people. And I'm gonna count around here. Let's see. And corn, there's always going to be two or an even number of kernels going around the cob this way. I think coming out of this, I should be pretty good as far as making money my second year running my business. I have had a few issues with the drone as far as wear. I've got a DJI Agers T40, and I've had to put a lot of parts into it the last 1,500 acres so far this season. I'm gonna limp it home the rest of the way, and from there we're gonna make a decision whether or not I invest for next year or get out of it altogether. That's a decision I'll have to make at the end of the spraying season. But overall, I'd say it's been a success for me. I've learned a lot of things about running business, established relationships with neighbors and customers that could be beneficial for us in the future. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see the tractor off in the distance in the merger, 7220, but I'm gonna head home. Dad should be pretty soon ready to go with a chopper. So I don't think there will be any drone footage in this video, just because you guys can probably tell that it is very breezy. So it's about 70 degrees today, and the wind will make up for the fact that we don't have any heat right now to speed up this hay and the drying process. And we're gonna get chopping. And I'm back in the Puma. Oh, copyright. And it is now time to go haul some loads, so come along with me in the Puma. So we're gonna chop this bottom first. That was cut Monday, and then somehow a 2-inch rainstorm came and saturated it all day Tuesday. Did not get it done yesterday, but finishing that. These beans look pretty good. That corn, I can't tell, or I don't know if you guys can tell, but there are a bunch of different tassel colors there. That field, I believe, is about 7 acres, and Dad came back to that field 3 different times to run out different varieties on the planter before he wanted to switch varieties and go to a different field for specific reasons. So it'll be really interesting to see. That's going to be the closest thing we have to a corn variety plot this year on a short few acres, which I think is pretty cool. If we had the time to do it, I would love to try a plot just to see and throw the brands and varieties together that we all plant, because for the amount of acres that we have, Dad likes a lot of different varieties. He likes spreading out our risk, doesn't stay with one company for everything. So that'll be really, really interesting to see. I flew some fungicide on that maybe 10 days ago. So yeah. And since I've been so busy spraying for other people, I haven't been able to take a good look at our crops and see what's going on. So we're gonna go check out this bean field over here and see what's happening. So these beans are almost up to my waist, and there are some holes in the leaves here. But I don't see any aphids crawling around in there. Little yellow underneath, but pods have 3 beans, 3 beans, 3 beans. We'll pull a plant out here and see. That's a double. Let's see if we can get a single spot. This is a nice stalk here. Wow. Look at all the nodules on there. So the white little ball things on there. Oh, Dad's got a full load. I better get moving. But the white little balls on the soybeans there are nodules of nitrogen. So soybeans take, I believe, nitrogen from the air. They're a legume. So we don't fertilize any nitrogen with our soybeans, because soybeans are supposed to make it themselves. And they take a nitrogen from the air and they stick it down, and they nodulate down in the ground on their roots. Well, after the soybeans have finished out, there's still nitrogen there. And yeah, so when they go into fertilize for our corn crop next year, they won't have to put in as much nitrogen down. So that's the beauty of a corn soybean rotation, is following soybeans going into corn. You don't have to put down as much artificial fertilizer because you have that credit from your soybeans, and it's more natural than throwing fertilizer on there. And behind me I've got my first load. A little dusty on the window, but hopefully we can get a lot done today. Breeze is picking up quite a bit, and hopefully everything runs smoothly today. And I'll probably be helping chop the next few days. A lot of wind in the forecast, but yeah. I will say this, like I said before, the spraying thing has been a good experience for me, but I would much rather be doing this, farming with my family, than running my spray business. But I've learned a lot, and looks like Grandpa's already taken off to go cut more hay for tomorrow. My uncle is done mixing feeds for the afternoon, or has his next batch preloaded. But now going up to the bag site, and my uncle just dove into the beginning of 2024 haylage, so first crop. So came out pretty nice that we had enough carryover that we could let that stuff ferment for a little bit. And I haven't been at the barn really to know how the cows are doing on the new feed, but right now I do know that the cows are down in milk a little bit. I know we've got a lot of dry cows, but we are currently, the heat, the cows are dealing with a lot of heat right now, so they're gonna be down in milk either way, whether or not they got good haylage or not. So the time will tell, maybe this week now that the temperatures have cooled off. But the fourth crop bag is all cleaned up from last year, and we can keep throwing bags in this spot. PTO engaged on the wagon now. Got a little button here on the fender that you guys are attached to run the PTO. And now I'm gonna go turn on the bagger tractor, get that revved up, drop the apron, drop the conveyor on the wagon, and start dumping feed. getting into this February, March. I just think baggers are so cool, how you can throw some plastic that's shaped like a tube, tie the end off of it, and how that machine packs the oxygen out and makes great feed for cows. And for us, for our situation, it's the ideal way to make feed. Wouldn't have it any other way, I don't think. We don't feed enough cows to justify a bunker, and we don't have to crawl up silos and change silo unloaders and change doors or maintain them or freeze thaw. And this is a one-man job to run this. Some people like to just have a person sitting in that bagger tractor all the time to keep the bag straight. We do the best we can to eye it up before we start each load. Sometimes they get a little wonky, but if you're looking at silage baggers, I don't think there's a bagger out there that's better than a Versa. We had a custom guy do it for us for a long time, and that's what he had. And eventually we wanted a little bit of more flexibility of when to make feed when we want, instead of having to sometimes wait for a bagger. And we got that. We got a new Versa, and man, these things are good machines. This is season number 9, I believe, with this thing. So really doing a good job. And I'm pulling up now with load number 3 up to the bag. So far so good. And now it's time to go chase down the chopper onto the field now that was cut last night, and the one that you guys saw me checking this morning. It already looks way different than it did 2 hours ago when I checked it, but that's expected considering the wind we've had today. Well, we have to quit for a little bit because that hay that was cut last night is too wet. I cannot finish unloading my load because try to imagine the bag packing with this soupy mess. Yikes. Not good. And I kept trying to call my dad, but the phone did not pick up. I know there's bad service up in that field. But there's another load on. I think there's maybe 2/3 room in this one and another empty wagon that hopefully we can get in before we gotta dump what we've got. Hopefully, we got sun right now, wind. Hopefully it changes here in the next few hours so we can get this mess taken care of. It's been a couple hours now. I'm back up at the bagger, and I'm gonna try stuffing some dry hay in here to see. Ugh, this is gross. Crusty looking. That's nasty. But we're gonna see how this goes. And first I'm gonna throw the hay up in here, then I'll get the bagger started and see how it goes. And I don't know if we're gonna be able to chop yet tonight or not, if re-merging that field and flipping the bottom over is gonna do it or not. But I'm gonna try the dry hay here. Well, I stuffed about 6 or 7 slices of hay in there, and the soup level was up to there. We've got it down a little bit, But I think now we got to put a whole big square bale in front. Good thing we got plenty of those. But it's going to be a struggle to get these unloaded. And we're not going to chop any more tonight. Better not risk it. That's what we get when we have cool temps. A lot of times we can cut and chop within about 7-8 hours after first crop, because it's thinner stand and heat and sun, but not today. So to get that last load and a half, load and a third through, I probably stuffed, I was the one running the pitchfork, I threw just about 2 big squares worth of hay through there to get that unloaded and into the bagger, prevent it from juicing and make sure that the rotor could keep packing. Worked well, actually. Don't want to have to do it again. We did not chop anymore, but there's a bearing out on our apron unload wagon, and instead of doing it ourselves, we figured tomorrow we're gonna have plenty to do in the morning, that we're just gonna take it to the dealership. They'll have it fixed up for us in the morning, and we got to go over there. We would have to go over there to get the part anyway, so let the professionals do it right the first time. And did not want to take the quick hitches off, so running it over ourselves with the tractor. Could have done it with the pickup, but didn't want to take the hitches off and unhook. Are we late? Is this the lazy way? Sure, go ahead. Say what you want about that, but that's how we're gonna do it. So I've got to take the calf to the sales barn in the morning. It's gonna be too windy again tomorrow, and I'm down right now anyway, spraying with the part. So good time for me to help on the farm again, and then hopefully I can hammer out last bit of drone work I have, and then it's farming from here on out. So see you guys tomorrow. And guys, right now I've got a calf hutch behind me, and I'm taking an Angus calf to the sales barn. It's Friday morning. I'm in Grandpa's truck since Dad's is still hooked up to the spray trailer. It's going to be too windy again today to spray, so hopefully we're going to keep chopping. Hopefully it dries out to a high of 69 degrees today, which hopefully we can get something chopped. It's not going to be ideal. Hopefully we don't have a situation like we did yesterday where we try it and we have to stuff dry hay into the bag to make it pack. But that worked to get us out of a pinch. And yeah, very, very fortunate right now that we've been having a lot of Angus calves this summer. Very helpful to the cash flow. A little extra cash than just a regular brown Swiss bull calf. Hopefully we have enough heifers on inventory here. We have not filled up the hutches yet. We've got 2 more huts open. We have to wean 5 calves any day now, so we won't have the huts full again. But we've got a lot of cows that are going to be calving here this month, so we're going to get more calves, a few more Angus calves in there. But overall, this is a good time to be having bull calves and Angus calves, not getting heifers, even though sometimes you want a good heifer calf, but the money's too good in these bull calves right now. And I'd say we're taking them to one of the best sales barns in the upper Midwest for bull calves and Angus calves. That's not my opinion. Well, it is my opinion, but I've also heard that from other farmers around the area. So feels pretty good to have this 40 minutes away from our place. Run down there on Friday mornings and drop off bull calves and cull cows. So the market's hot down there, so keep on going. Well guys, it's 4:30, the same day. I've not chopped anything yet. This stuff is a little bit on the wetter side. It was merged yesterday. And we had to stuff bales in there off of a load and a half or load and a third to get it to feed through the bagger. But we're gonna go out and try chopping stuff that was cut yesterday and was not merged. That felt a little drier. So this, I gotta come and get this wagon to bring to the other field that we're gonna start on here in a little bit. And Dad's gonna feed calves. I might have to chop a load or two, which is the same one that I chopped last crop. And it feels like we should be combining soybeans right now and not chopping third crop alfalfa. This is very strange weather for chopping haylage, especially on August 9th. But if this cold front stays, it's been a few years since I showed at the county fair, and if this weather stays in these temperatures, our county fair is going to be really, really pleasant for the animals, at least. Cool mornings. Some of those barns don't have the best ventilation down there, but it's something I miss, the fair experience. But I don't miss fitting cattle. I like the showing part, but fitting, man, the hair is just gross. Well, I just chopped the first load. Hardly got anything into it just because this stuff is thin and it's already dried. We should have been chopping for a few hours already, but we did not. So very much a mistake. But at this point, it's probably, we don't have the manpower to get ahead and merge it. We just need to chop. But this stinks. Gonna take a lot more loads to get this taken care of, just because of how thin it is. So very much a bummer. But I'm gonna unhook now, and I've got another wagon out here that I'm gonna fill before I go home and get the Puma and start hauling loads. I'm back to being the load hauler now. Dad's done feeding calves. I chopped 2 loads. So you guys, this console setup is the same on the Puma as it is on the Magnum. And over here, I got the switches to run the chopper as far as spout control and enabling the head to turn on and off. Well, I was going around the corner and reached up to try and hit the spout control, spin it a little bit to make sure I was still blowing in the wagon. And full throttle, I turned the PTO off, and you guys that have run blowers or choppers know what that does. I plugged it. Good thing I caught it right away. I did not slug more feed in there. So that was good. That was a quick 15-minute unplugging. We've had worse, taking multiple hours to do some unplugging if it really gets jammed in there. But we're back to it. Least we can do is get a few loads shot tonight and hit it hard again tomorrow. And the bagger is taking it good. The bag is sagged out there. That's because of the wet feed that we put in there last night. Probably gonna have some oxygen in there. Not gonna be very good. Probably gonna have to throw that out once my uncle gets to feeding that spot. But it's gonna correct itself real quick. Making a nice tight bag. And that's the beauty of a Versa. It can correct that real quickly. And just a beautiful sunset tonight. I don't know if you can quite see, but really beautiful view today. And I've got the lights on now on the tractor, hauling in load number 6, last one of the night. We could keep going, but that's all right. It'll regain some moisture in the morning, so time to call her a night. Get this one in the bag, head home, and get to sleep. And looking back there at that bag, I've corrected it and got her tightened down, and should make some really nice packed feed. And it's feeding into the bag really nice, shoving right along. I would not be surprised if it takes less acres to do third crop than it did second, just because the hay is just a little bit taller. But tomorrow's going to be my last day, hopefully helping my family chop. We won't finish tomorrow chopping, but Sunday it's going to be less windy again, which means I can get back to spraying fungicide and get my last 1,000 acres or so done. And maybe some people will want more fungicide, so I can run that thing a little bit longer. So I'm back out to the field that was too wet the other night. We're gonna haul that now. Well, we got multiple people hauling, but see the milk truck just going up the hill there, just picked up our milk. And about to take in load number 1 for the day. There goes the chopper, filling up some more. Nice day again. This cold front's still here, a little warmer than yesterday. Hopefully I can spray tomorrow. And there we are, approaching to get the next load. And this little 2-acre strip of hay, we are not planning on taking our 4th crop off of that field. We're going to dedicate that one to manure hauling until 4th crop is done, and then some of the fields that'll be taken out and into corn next year will be also dedicated to manure hauling until the winter, and then it'll hit hard on the corn silage ground and the corn stalk baled ground. But it's always nice once we get past third crop, we can dedicate our weakest hayfield to manure hauling. I've got my lights on. Corn doesn't look too bad over here. Some of our later planted stuff. Good looking bean field across the road there. And Dad is topping off the last load from what was cut today, blending in with some of the dry stuff. And the dew is going to be setting in here, but this is going to be a wrap on today's video. I appreciate you guys watching, and please subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for those that have, and as always, like, comment, and tell me what you liked and did not like. And see you in the next video. I look forward to hopefully being back on YouTube more frequently than I have been this summer, as soon as spraying season winds down, and hopefully I get to spread a little bit of cover crop also. So Carter out.